Hello, there we go. Hello everybody, how are you doing? Alex Subhuman here with United Pop Melbourne. Fantastic to see you all again in this lovely forward-facing way of doing things. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most basic fundamentals to mixing music. It's something that so many people get wrong. It's literally made a wealth of problems around people just not getting this little thing right. It's mixing fundamentals 101, balancing. That's right, balancing. What the heck is balancing? Balancing is using volume to create a balance. It's using volume to create a balance between all of the various parts of your song. If we don't apply any processing and just use the faders, we can achieve most of what we need in our mix. Yes, it really is that simple. The rest of the stuff should be thought of as a remedy to fix any problems we're having when the balancing isn't doing enough. So many people are so quick to grab all their fancy plugins and all their processing and creating chains and all this mess when really they just need to turn something up or down. So that's what balancing is. It's pretty straightforward. It is the most simple thing you can do when it comes to mixing your music. But how do we do it? That's the question that needs to be answered. How do we actually balance? So for me, when I'm balancing, the most important thing is we establish a foundation, right? If we're not mixing to a point, then we're kind of just poking around in the eternal abyss. If we're not aiming for a certain part to be at a certain place to form our foundation or an anchor point, then we're just moving stuff around. It gets very messy very quickly. To simplify things, I always create myself a foundation. That 99.9% of the time is going to be my drums. I establish my drum level to a certain point. I establish the loudness of my mix first. Go back and check my previous video if you don't know what I'm talking about. Establish the loudness of your mix first so that all your parts are being processed under the compression that they're going to be given to be at industry standard volumes. Once that loudness is established, then I bring my drums in. I'm not picking an arbitrary number like -10. It's literally just how loud does my kick have to be to cause a bit of master bus compression so that the bass of the kick is hitting the bass sweet spot for that genre of music and getting enough RMS for it to be competitive. So I'm going to bring these up, and this is going to be the foundation of my track. So we're going to go slowly up. If I come over to here, so this is an EQ or a frequency analyzer after all of the processing. So this is what the song's going to look like when it's finished. I'm going to bring this up. Right, so I'm pushing that up. I'm looking for two things to tell me that's where my drums need to go. On my analyzer, I want the bass of the kick to be hitting around this 12 dB line. That's going to be a good starting place for this style of music, which I'm getting. Lovely. I'm also getting a bit of gain reduction on my master compressor here. See? Get a bit of movement. Could probably get away with some more actually if you wanted to. This is where my drums need to be. This is the foundation. Lovely. Once I've established that, then I bring my sub elements in. Then I bring my bass. Then I bring my synths or my leads. And then the rest falls into place. First, I establish the drop, the loudest part of the mix, and then all the bits that aren't a drop, the verses, choruses, or whatever you might want to call it, that's always going to be played in comparison to the drops. So I'm A-Bing between the two sections, always keeping it relative to the parts I've established, right? I'm not playing in the dark. I'm building on what I've already made. It's like building a tower up from the ground. Get the foundation level in properly, and everything else will fall into place. That's it. Let's do it. Now we can start to bring in the sub. We've already established the levels of our drums, so that's our reference point. Now I'm always going to bring up the sub compared to the drums. Here's my sub. And here's the beauty of analyzers. We know the kick needs to be hitting this 12 dB line to be of industry standard, so my sub needs to hit that as well. This style of music, it needs to be a little bit more. There's our sub here. Probably all the way up to 0. That's our sub, looking lovely. Now I can bring in my lead. Okay, so see how I pushed it up here to minus 4.5? The synth sounds louder than the drums because I'm comparing it to those things and it's too loud, so I go back down. Let's have a listen to see what it sounds like loud and in stereo. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. We have one more sound to add in, so let's blend this in relative to the other synths. Okay, so round about here is what I would say is a good balance. It sounds about the same, but here's where you have to use your mixing creativity. Do you think it's going to sound nice if it's all the same level? Or maybe this little wham wants to come in a bit too loud. It's kind of a mistake, but on purpose, to create a bit of, whoa, easy geezer, what's that? Create some excitement in the mix. So I'm going to turn this up 3 more dB. 1, 2, 3. Let's turn this mono and dim off. It's going to sound louder. Yes, that's not too bad. Right, you see what I'm saying? Establish a foundation. That's my drums relative to the industry standard of what it needs to be under the loudness applied already. So we've started off by reverse engineering the loudness, bring in the drums, hit our industry markers. Again, I'm just establishing these layers, and every new thing I add in is relative to what's already done. Yeah. You see what I'm doing? Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it short. That's all you need to do. That's what I'm thinking about when it comes to balancing. When your balance goes astray, is astray a word? Goes awry, or something's not working well, that's when I come in and I go, whoa, probably need some EQ, probably need some compression. A bit more of a problem's happening. All right, maybe it's multiband compression, maybe it's dynamic EQ, maybe it's clipping, the transients are causing a problem, right? I'm not jumping to those things first. I'm fixing my problems with balancing. Please just give it a go before you start spending all your money or causing a massive CPU problem in your computer with all your plugins. Just practice your balancing. Remember, it's referencing back to a point. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. Let's do it.